Orlando police officer who arrested a man after she mistook donut glaze for amphetamine has been disciplined for making a false arrest. I'm Renee Stutzman, and this is Orlando Sentinel News Now. Corporal Shelby Riggs Hopkins was given a written reprimand for arresting Daniel Rushing nearly 2 years ago when she spotted small white flecks on the floorboard of his car.
Every other Wednesday, I get a glazed donut from Krispy Kreme. They found 4 little pieces of icing on the floorboard, which I'm kind of embarrassed about because I should have, vacuumed the car better.
She did 2 drug tests at the side of the road, but did them wrong, and as a consequence, thought the donut glaze was amphetamine.
This is the very same test, narcotics identification system. We found that when we tested several substances, and in fact, nothing.
Right.
We got a presumptive test for amphetamine.
First they tried to say it was crack cocaine, and then they said, no, it's not crack, it's methamphetamines. I went, it's icing from a donut.
Prosecutors dropped the criminal case against him, but Rushing is now suing the city of Orlando. For more on the story, stay on OrlandoSentinel.com.
Orlando cop who mistook donut glaze for drugs is disciplined. The Orlando police officer who arrested a man after mistaking donut glaze on his floorboard for amphetamine has been disciplined for making a false arrest. Corporal Shelby Riggs Hopkins didn't mean to do any harm, the Orlando Police Department concluded. She just didn't know how to use the department-issued drug test kits. The department had never trained her or anyone else on how to use them, according to Deputy Chief Orlando Rowland. In 2015, OPT bought 81 of the kits, the agency reported. In 2016 it bought 350. The Orlando Sentinel published a story about the arrest on July 28. On September 19, Police Chief John Mina ordered every sworn officer on the payroll to be trained on how to use the kits. So far, 737 officers have received that training, the agency reported Thursday. The only exceptions are 36 new hires. The man who was falsely arrested has filed suit against the city and the manufacturer of the kits, Sapphire Island, LLC, a company based in Jacksonville. The case is pending in State Circuit Court in Orlando. Daniel Rushing, 65, a retired City of Orlando employee, was arrested by Riggs Hopkins on December 11, 2015. Rushing had driven to the 7-Eleven at the corner of West Colonial Drive and Edgewater Drive during the lunch hour that day to see if his friend, who worked there, needed a ride home, he said. Police were watching the store because of complaints about drug activity, according to the Internal Affairs report, and Riggs Hopkins zeroed in on Rushing. He pulled onto Colonial Drive without first coming to a complete stop, a traffic violation, and he headed south on PRUMMELL Avenue, driving 42 miles per hour instead of the speed limit, which was 30 miles per hour, according to the Internal Affairs report. Riggs Hopkins pulled him over. She spotted a rock-like substance on the floorboard and suspected it was crack cocaine, she told the Internal Affairs investigator. There were several pieces of it near the driver's seat. I recognized through my 11 years of training and experience as a law enforcement officer the substance to be some sort of narcotic, she wrote in Rushing's arrest report. Rushing, though, said he was innocent. I kept telling them, that's glaze from a donut. They tried to say it was crack cocaine at first, then they said, no, it's meth, crystal meth, Rushing said. Riggs Hopkins did 3 roadside drug tests. One she got right, the one that came up negative for cocaine. But she was wrong on the other 2, according to the Internal Affairs report. She used the wrong type of kit for one, a kit designed for cocaine, not amphetamine, and when she did use the proper kit to test for amphetamine, she didn't realize that proper protocol required her to do yet another test with a different kit to confirm the results. Rushing was handcuffed and taken to the Orange County Jail, where he was strip-searched and spent about 10 hours before being released on $2,500 bond. Riggs Hopkins packaged up 0.4 grams of the donut glaze and placed it into evidence. Several weeks later, A state crime lab tested it and determined it was not an illegal substance, and the state attorney's office dropped the charge against Rushing. At the time, I believed I was using the test properly, Riggs Hopkins told the Internal Affairs investigator. She did not respond Thursday to a request for comment. This incident stems from no pre-established departmental standardized training with the Sapphire Island NIC testing kits, Rowland wrote in the Internal Affairs report released by the City of Orlando on Thursday. Riggs Hopkins was given a written reprimand for making an improper arrest. The department found no evidence that she acted in bad faith. It did fault her, though, for arresting Rushing on a charge of possession of methamphetamine when she believed what was on the floorboard was amphetamine. She wrote the statute number for meth on the arrest report, she said, because she couldn't find the one for amphetamine. Thursday's report also revealed that the department had a sergeant in its drug unit pull the evidence sample on July 28 and run another test. It came back negative. The next day, the department began its internal affairs investigation. Stutzman at OrlandoSentinel.com or 407-650-6394.